All right, we're going to start episode 14 with Emma Rogue. And we don't know each other, but we're going to have a wonderful conversation today, and I'm so excited.
Same.
Are you excited?
I'm very excited.
Okay, so little elevator pitch, but then I want you to talk about like what you do. But you right now have a brick and mortar vintage clothing store. Is that the right
Correct.
nomenclature?
Yes.
And you blew up on TikTok and Depop, and now you're like social media, but also in person, just killing it. And that's my terrible elevator pitch. But can you go in more detail, like just the quick synopsis of what, you know, like if people don't know you, like what do you do, and like what's your life? Because you're an amazing, because like clothing is not my jurisdiction, and you're the first kind of like very fashion forward person we've had on the podcast, which I'm super excited about.
Cool.
But so it's not really my world, so I'd love some wonderful information.
Yeah, you pretty much hit it on the head. Should I go back in time?
Yeah, I mean everything. Let's we got time to talk.
Okay, so basically like 3 years ago, I would say mid 2018, I started selling on Depop just out of the blue. And like first item I posted, people were like fighting over it. So I was like, okay, I'll keep going. Vintage
pieces that you just like that you want to sell.
Yeah, but
or your
also,
clothes.
So, well, I guess if we go even further back, like I had been thrifting like my whole life.
Okay.
Like I would always go with my mom after gymnastics practice, whatever. We'd always go thrifting, and I would always just thrift for myself. But then once I got to college, I started seeing more and more pieces at the thrift that were super cute, but just wouldn't fit me or like weren't my size, you know.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, if I know someone would like this, why don't I just buy it and test it, try and sell it? So that's what I did with
as a strict flip.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So I found like these vintage Skechers at the thrift on half off day, and I posted them on Depop later that day, and then like people wanted them really bad.
Hell yeah.
So I was like, oh, I have something here, right? So then I just kept going. So I sold stuff from my closet I wasn't wearing anymore, and then I started thrifting for the purpose of reselling. And then I just carried on doing that for a year and a half. So I did that for the rest of 2018, all of 2019. And at that time, I also got hired by Depop. So I was working, they had a Soho store / photo studio. I don't know if you ever went.
Never went, but we read up about that.
Yeah.
That you were like killing it so much, they hired you kind of. Is that
Yeah, they kind of asked me. So I was also doing photography at that time. So they asked me to shoot one of their events, December 2018. And I shot one of their events, then I shot another one, and they were like, actually, we're hiring for our shop. Like, do you want to work here? And I was like, and I had just graduated. I didn't know what I was doing with my life.
Yeah.
So I was like, and also, like, I didn't want to go into, like, something full on, like, 9 to 5. I wasn't, like, ready for that because I was also taking classes part-time at FIT. So I said, yeah. I started working for them part-time, and then the time I was off, I was doing Depop on the side, like, selling on the side.
Right.
So it was in 2019 when I started doing, like, street markets and fairs and stuff like that, like Hester Street Fair, Grand Bazaar.
Which you did this past weekend, right?
Yeah, I did. I still do Hester. Love Hester.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I started doing the markets, IRL, and I was doing really well.
And so this was, sorry to interrupt, this is like your Depop online, like almost page, but you're doing it in person.
Yeah.
So it's like this collection of curating, but also selling kind of.
Yeah. So basically everything I had on my Depop shop plus more that wasn't listed, I would bring to these street fairs. So it'd be like way more stuff than what was listed on my Depop.
And because you already, again, sorry, I'm trying to dissect this because people already saw that you were like a big seller and they trusted you. You had this almost like trust and like I don't know, hype around you as like a seller with like pieces that are awesome, and people like knew you as like the vintage person, and like you had that hype around you, not just like the clothes, like your collection of things. Is that
that's
wrong?
Accurate? No, that's accurate, but I would say more so in 2020. Like in 2019, I didn't have a big following.
Okay, so you were still hustling.
I just had really good shit.
Okay,
like
I see.
I'm good at curating.
Yeah.
Like I know what people like.
You got that good.
Yeah, like if I had to say so, I would say I am. Like that's my favorite part about it is curating. Like basically, when you get down to it, I'm just shopping for other people.
100%. Yeah.
But I know what people want. And like it's a lot about paying attention to trends and seeing who's wearing what in the celebrity world,
right?
And blah 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 in the TikTok world. You know, it's like very nuanced, and trends go so fast now. But yeah.
Yep.
So in 2019, I wasn't that popping on social, but I guess people just liked how I curated.
Mm-hmm.
Then 2020 happens, right?
Pandemic time.
Pandemic comes along, and Depop offers me a full-time position.
Hell yeah.
But then I had to think long and hard, right? Do I want to give up my shop and selling for a 9-to-5? And like that security?
But they were like, you can't do this if you work for us?
No.
Or you just didn't have time?
I just wouldn't have the time to have like focus on it how I wanted to.
Yeah, makes
because
sense.
I love selling.
Mm-hmm.
And sourcing.
And you're making good cheese, right? At this point, like you're like.
Yeah, and also when I was working part time at Depop, I just realized that I don't really like working for other people.
Yeah.
Like.
That's good internalization that you're probably realizing in this.
Yeah, like,
timeline.
And I realized that like back then, like while it was even happening, I was just like, I don't need to do this.
Especially if Depop is like this, you're doing the same thing as they are. You're just like using their app, but like you're obviously being successful. And you're like, why the fuck do I need to work for these people? You know, kind of.
Yeah, but
not to speak for you.
But I have to say, I love Depop. Shout out Depop.
Shout out.
That's where I started, and they will always be my family. So
yeah,
I love Depop. Yeah. But yeah, so I had to decide whether I want to do that 9-to-5 or just pursue selling. So I decided against 9-to-5, and that was in January of 2020.
Oh.
Right? So then I
was
when
it blew up.
When what?
COVID, sorry.
Right. Yeah, right before COVID blew up.
Yeah, I think it was February.
March like 15th.
Yep.
Was when COVID hit.
Okay.
So I declined their job offer, but I was still doing independent. I was like working for them as an independent contractor. So whenever they needed me to do social media or stuff like that, I would work with them. The last thing I did for them was going to ThriftCon Miami, which was like March 12th, I think.
Oh my God.
It was literally like 3 days before the pandemic. It was crazy, like massive event. It was so much fun. But then I got back and then, everything shut down. So then at that point, I got on TikTok. My friend Andrew, who worked at Depop at the time, he was like, Emma, you need to get on TikTok now. Nobody's talking about Depop. Nobody's doing anything about Depop. Just like talk about your shop. So I was like, okay. So I started doing videos like that. Like, well, I guess the first video of mine that blew up was a video showing how I packaged my Depop orders.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. That was in May 2020.
And it blew up?
Oh, it was insane.
Oh, yeah? I love that.
Overnight.
That's sick.
I had to have gotten 2 million views overnight. By the end of the week, I was at, by the end of the week, I was at 7 million. I definitely got 1 million overnight.
First TikTok ever?
No, not first TikTok ever. I tried doing the dances. That did not work. I'm not a dancer. Yeah. That did not work. I tried doing.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, I tried doing the dances. That didn't work. But this was my first TikTok that blew up.
Man, that's so much.
And then I got like 40K followers overnight. I got my Depop following.
Right,
also,
actual sales.
Oh my God, I almost sold out my Depop shop that week. It was the most insane experience of my life. I'd never gone viral before. And I was just so overwhelmed. I was like crying of joy, literally. It was insane.
Yeah.
And also my Depop following, like, I think at that time I probably had like 12K followers on Depop or like 14K.
That's a lot. I didn't know Depop was like social media almost.
Yeah,
I've never seen it on my phone or anyone's phone, honestly.
Really?
No,
the platform is very much like Instagram.
Okay, that's what Chris was kind of saying.
Yeah.
So you really kind of were able to almost like inject your personality or like with photos, like you made it, like it's like you said, curated, and it's like quality Depop, photos and shit like that.
It was very high quality. Like I used my DSLR, I edited everything.
Dang,
like it was high quality. Like my photos looked so crisp. That's what made the product look really good, and that's how I got sales. But yeah, my Depop following, by the end of that week, I think I grew to like 40K followers on Depop.
Wow.
And now I'm at 90K on Depop, like after a year of just posting. Like, okay, so after that video blew up and I sold so many things, I started doing Depop tip videos, like how to start your own Depop,
Yep.
how to
We
make
watched
sales.
a couple before you got here.
Okay, so yeah, it's like it was like on the educational wave, which was really good because I was at the time I was the only person doing that.
Right, and people, you're like a young, cool girl. People probably love the shit out of that.
Yeah,
and also got good tips as a successful seller.
Yeah,
successful seller.
And I think so much of it has to do with the timing because it was the beginning of the pandemic. Everyone was stuck at home, bored out of their minds, not knowing what to do. So like, okay, what are you gonna do? Maybe clean your room, go through your old stuff that you don't wear. So like, they want some money. So like, they're gonna start their own Depop shop. So it was really like the perfect storm.
Also, just people on the platform of TikTok.
True.
Triple.
Views were crazy.
Yeah.
I remember like posting videos at that time in 2020 and like an hour later having like already 200,000 views on a video.
That's insane.
But that doesn't happen anymore. I'm like lucky if I get like 20K after an hour.
Right?
No, it's gone
the good old
now.
days.
Yeah.
I didn't really have that, but that's amazing. So massive exposure through TikTok.
Yeah.
The rest of the pandemic, you're kind of doing that same thing. When does this whole actual storefront come in? Because that's loco.
Yeah.
And really
crazy.
amazing and so
it's
awesome.
Crazy. Okay, so to be very honest, like I had no intentions of opening a shop in the near future. The idea of opening the brick and mortar didn't happen till a month before.
Wow. Which was when? Also timeline, sorry. I love to hear. Like when did the store open? Rogue.
We opened June 5th. And I didn't have like that idea cemented in my mind until end of April.
Whoa.
So I signed I could go into like how I solidified that idea and like made that choice.
Yeah, please.
So
because so again, you had all the success over TikTok, but that was in March. I guess that's not that far. April. So it all happened like really fast, though. Yeah. Oh no, it's another year.
It's So this is 2021 now. We're 2020. Yeah, no. Yeah,
so that's a long year.
We're a year later.
Yeah. So a long year of kind of just pittering around, doing the Depop.
Yeah.
Having fun.
And it's very intense. Like
I
listing
bet.
Like single items and thousands of that over like months is just like
that's crazy.
It's very intense.
Yeah.
It's a very tedious process. You have to be very dedicated.
Yeah,
anyone who sells on Depop
before here, you're like $50, 55.
Oh well, yeah, that's Haley. That's my employee. She's holding down the shop right now, so she just had to.
But I assume it's like a lot of always checking, crunching.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, again, I thought Chris, you said this, like, the vintage world. It's not like a collection. It's like one of one pieces. And that's like the business model. It's like specific one of one pieces, no multiples really.
Yeah.
And so that probably plays into the just scale of if you want to make money, you have to have a lot of those.
Exactly. Because instead of having like 3 SKUs and 3 like best-selling products and you have thousands of them, you have 1,000 SKUs and only one of each.
Man.
So imagine the time that you have to put into listing 1,000 individual SKUs, taking the photos, writing out the descriptions, listing it, packaging it, shipping it. It's so much more than if you had.
I hate it. I do merch and buy my merch, but like it's like a huge headache. It's my least favorite thing to do within the like business I'm in because it's headachy, and obviously yours is more creative and fun, but the back end of that is I feel your pain. Probably not as much.
Yeah.
But maybe 1%.
Yeah, but it is a very tedious process. So yeah, but that's that. Should we go back to the shop?
Yeah. Sorry, tangent.
It's okay. So yeah, a year goes by. I was like doing all the Depop videos. Then so Vienna, my friend, one of her friends, her name is Natalia. She opened a vintage shop in the West Village called Funny Pretty Nice. And I was like, oh my God, like that's so exciting. I think she opened in maybe March of 2021. And I reached out to her and I was able to do a pop-up with her at the end of April 2021. And so she was super sweet. I went in there. I was there for like a Saturday and Sunday. And I made a TikTok kind of like promoting the fact that I was there. TikTok blew up. Hella people came.
Wow.
But at the same time, I'm thinking to myself like, damn, like, why am I making a TikTok for someone else, bringing them all this business when I have a bigger following and can do the same exact thing? I'm capable of exactly the same.
Eureka moment.
Yeah. Then my other friend, Matt, who owns Bowery Showroom, who I sold at Hester Street Fair with, like 2 years prior. We'd known each other for 2 years now. He opened a shop on Stanton Street, and he invited me to sell on consignment for his opening weekend, which was also end of April. I do the same thing. Make a TikTok, blows up, hella people come to the shop. I'm like, damn, like, Emma, what are you doing?
Yeah, right? You're the wave.
Exactly. Like, so it was like at that point when I'm like, damn, like, I really need to do this for myself. Because if I'm making these videos for other people, like, why don't I just make them for myself and have people come to my shop? So Matt's shop is on Stanton Street. Right next to his shop was a space that was vacant for 8 months. And he said, Emma, you should really check it out. If you don't get it, I'm going to make it my office. And I was like, I knew he wasn't playing because he would have done that. Mm-hmm. So literally the day after his opening weekend, which was, I think it was like April like 20th or 21st, whatever. I call the realtor and I have a viewing scheduled for like that Monday. And then after negotiating whatever, I put in like our offer and then we signed the lease, I think first week in May.
That's crazy.
And so move-in was May 15th. Yeah.
Like 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, literally. So we signed the lease. Yeah.
Send it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then, we set the opening for June 5th. So we literally had like, oh my God, I had a month to prep, but to move in and like set up the shop, we had like a little over 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man.
Like 3 weeks.
And you obviously had a lot of homies that were helping you.
Oh my God.
Like,
yeah.
support.
I had so many friends come. It was so great. It was so great.
Well, that's probably, you probably wouldn't have done that massive impulsive move, maybe half calculated, half impulsive, if you didn't have already like the following support system and maybe vision of, hey, other people I see doing this. Like,
exactly.
It was last minute, but you were confident in the execution.
100%. And TikTok was a huge part in why I felt confident enough to do it.
Yeah. That leads me to a great question because it, like, COVID, retail died, Like, I don't know if you know Dirtbag, the clothing company. Anyways, like,
oh, yeah, I heard of
he moved in the Lower East Side and, like, right before, like, January, February, and he had to shut it down. Anyways, a lot of people had that situation. And I feel like it's not risky or ballsy, but, after seeing retail kind of die like that, like, did you think about that at all? Like moving forward, like, oh, I'm probably investing a lot of money into this lease and this brick and mortar. Like the pandemic's not guaranteed to come back. It's better now this summer, especially blah, blah, blah. People were out and about, but like, that was kind of like an interesting decision.
Yeah, it definitely, I guess looking back, it kind of was a risk, especially at the time, because in May, the restrictions were still fully in place. But I just got so lucky with the timing because that first week in June is when the restrictions in New York were first lifted. So for my opening weekend, June 5th, it
was a frenzy.
Everything was already lifted and I just lucked out. Like we had over 2,000 RSVPs. So we had a line down the block. But the thing is though, I had been promoting our opening on TikTok like since May 1st. So I had created, I think maybe 10 videos total, or maybe a little less than that, like showing the process of like finding the space, signing the lease, building it out, finding the inventory, blah, blah, blah.
And people just wanted to be free out of the
I think people were just so ready to get out.
Really perfect timing.
It was perfect
timing queen.
But like it just like
genius.
Everything happens for a reason. It just all fell into place. And
that's great.
Yeah, honestly, I just feel so grateful that like
I hear you.
It worked out that way.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's that order of operations. Makes a lot of sense, but also ballsy, like respect for doing that, because I don't know how much it is. You don't have to say the number, but even for me signing the lease here, it was like,
it's still substantial. Fuck? Yeah, it is substantial, especially because we have a second rent to pay, like for our homes,
and especially just like the idea of running a successful business and blah blah blah. But that's awesome, and I love that. And I love why you're on this podcast because you're killing it on TikTok, like digital killing it, but also like in person, not a lot of people, a lot of people are killing it on social media, but to have this like brick and mortar, like actual physical hustle, like I love that. And I think that's sick.
Well,
It's a testament to you, I think, obviously.
Yeah, and the great part about having the brick and mortar is like it's kind of like a manifestation of what people see on TikTok, but like 10 times that. You know what I mean? It's just it's the experience IRL, and I knew since I opened it, I wanted it to be more than just retail. It's kind of also like a venue.
Yeah.
In terms of like the events that we have going on every weekend.
Yeah, you do pop-ups, right?
Yeah, like I have all my friends who are like amazing designers and people who have small brands that are just like killing the game. Like I'll invite them to sell on a Saturday and we'll just like have a line down the block. And then Holly Humberstone, I don't know if you guys know her. She's a British singer. She's about to pop off, but she's so talented. Like, what does she sign with? Universal. Like I get a call from her manager from Universal and they're like, hey, Holly loves what you're doing. She wants to do like a pop-up show at your shop. And so she did. And like we had like 100+ people in the street and her singing outside like a few weekends ago. It's just,
that's amazing.
I'm just so excited for what's to come because it's not just retail.
Totally. And the potential of that's exactly right. I mean, yes, the narrative and, vantage point or subject is the vintage, accompanying the TikTok branding, but you have this space. You could do whatever the fudge you want with it,
That's what I love.
And work with people, that will only help you and them.
Exactly.
That's like kind of the same mentality here. I mean, we do different things, but it's in the same vein without doubt.
Yeah.
And it's the best. And especially, I mean, you're in the Lower East Side. I mean, like we're very excited to go. We hopefully will be able to go this weekend.
To your shop?
Yeah, to your shop.
Oh my God, yes.
And we're going to hopefully take some photos, maybe a little video real quick to overlay in this podcast so people can see. But I mean, Lower East Side, a real store, that's pretty epic.
Yeah.
Foot traffic.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy.
So like with the store, I want to talk about more specifics as like the mastermind business brand. Like you have employees, you were just saying.
Yeah.
And so can you talk about building a team? Did you have a team preceding the brick and mortar? Like you were doing all these thousands of SKUs, photos yourself, but obviously you couldn't be at the store 100% of the time. There's other back end things. Like, do you have a bookkeeper? All this fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the team building? Because I love that.
Yeah, it was definitely a process. Thank God I had Vienna because she's one of my best friends. And throughout, like before I started doing interviews with people because I didn't have anyone to like work the shop, she helped me so much with doing like the SKUs and stuff like that for opening weekend.
I didn't know you guys were that close actually.
Yeah, I mean, we were super close this summer. She's been traveling a lot recently, so I haven't seen her in a minute. But yeah, no, she was such a great help. But I did put out, mainly just on Instagram, I just posted like, if you're interested in working for Rogue.
Oh yeah?
Like, email me, yeah. And then I got so many applicants, but going through that was tough. And I found a few good people. When I first opened the shop, I only had 2 other girls on like the schedule.
Yeah.
Crazy.
On the timesheet.
So much.
So yeah, and because I didn't really know what I was doing. I really just went with the flow. Yeah. Because I knew everything eventually was gonna work itself out.
You have to go through the turbulent bumps.
Yeah. So
I feel you.
So I knew everything would work out eventually, but in the beginning it was very much like a work in progress. So I had 2 girls there, like one there 3 days, the other 4. And then because in the beginning, in the summer, there was so much traffic, I had to go back to Jersey and source, like because we were so low on inventory.
Man, wow.
So it was a constant hustle, like all June, July, August, and even September. Now it's gotten a little bit slower just because it's winter, but I feel like once Black Friday hits, it's gonna pick up again.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's another thing that's annoying.
Money.
But yeah, so
no, but awesome.
Yeah, but I found, those 2 girls, one of them is still with me. And to grow, now I have 5 employees.
That's crazy.
I just started doing payroll.
That's amazing.
Taxes are crazy.
Congrats.
Yeah, do you have an accountant and a bookkeeper?
I do.
Yeah, thank Goyam.
Yeah, thank God. Because that's scary.
I mean, dude, that's so awesome and legit. And
it's legit. Yeah, it's legit now.
So legit. I love that. Okay, so I didn't even think about that. Is not only running a store with the employees and the foot traffic and, logistics of the collaborations and events, but the business, the catalyst of the business is new vintage pieces. So you just said sourcing, which means, I'm guessing, like finding the new clothes.
Inventory, yeah.
Okay, so can we dive into that? Like, is that also a trait? Is that like something you say is like a secret in your life? Like, I'm not telling you where my sources is or where I'm going to get these new clothes. Because that's what separates you.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like really talking too much about that. Just because, look, if you really want to find something, you can figure out like how to get it or how to do it. And that goes for anything.
Yeah.
So many times people come into the shop and they're asking like, oh my God, like, where do you get all this stuff? And I'm just like, everywhere, yo. Like, I really don't like answering that because like that's what gives us value, right? Like
100%.
It's finding these pieces that everyone else wants.
That they're not willing to go and find.
Exactly. Or they just like, they don't know how to do it. They don't want to spend the time to figure out how to do it, or they don't care enough to figure out how to do it. But that's what I take the time to do.
Sure, and is that your main? We don't have to talk about where. I'm not trying to give you your secrets away, but like, is that your main job now? Like, you are the master behind finding clothes, or do you have little minions going to do it for you?
Well,
in a nice way, minions.
No. It's tough. I do. Thankfully, like since I've been selling for 3 years now, I've made connections like with people throughout the country.
Yeah, like backdoor dealers.
Well, yeah, like I have some wholesale dealers who like I know, and they know what the type of stuff I want, so they'll send me boxes from time to time. But again, it's inconsistent. So I'm still doing 90% of the sourcing.
Oh, wow.
I have like some dealers in LA who send me stuff, some people in Florida, some in Colorado. People all over, but I also like I still go on buying trips like monthly.
Yeah.
And travel.
That's so interesting to me because I'm not very into fashion. Like I wear the same things I've worn since like high school and
oh my
like
God,
paint on everything.
Oh,
yeah, you should do a makeover video.
Oh my God, yeah, we have to do a styling. We can style you.
I mean, like Chris, you're into fashion. Like you're swagging out.
No, you're uncomfortable saying this right now, so that's why it'd be good.
But I mean, I'm down to that. That's fun as shit. I mean, I love new clothes. But it's so interesting because I haven't even thought about that, and like it's such a like that whole system is very cool and fun, like finding things. It's like fucking archaeology and like business. It's like
it's the part I love.
Yeah,
I love finding it, but the thing is, it's so difficult.
Is it getting more difficult?
Yes.
Why?
Because so many people are hopping onto the vintage wave. You ask anyone, like everyone has a vintage Instagram now, or everyone has like a selling page on Instagram, a selling account. Literally, everyone like has like their closet on Instagram. Yeah. So I feel like I don't know.
It's becoming more saturated.
It's very saturated, yeah. Everyone's on Depop, everyone's selling. So it's definitely more tough now, but you can still find deals.
But especially if you're this like keystone of a person, brand, and real place in the metropolis of New York, like you're gonna...
Luckily now with this, and now that I have this brick and mortar, it's kind of like, I don't want to say legitimized because I was legitimate before, but now it's like, okay, now you have a shop. Like now I have people coming to me and saying like, oh, I have this. I have so much in my storage unit.
And what you buy it from them and then you resell for higher?
Yeah, that's buy low, sell high.
Right, okay, but I didn't know if it was like you buy like big pallets of vintage stuff and then...
Ooh, pallets are tough. Like I've bought bales before, but it's tough unless it's graded. So...
I have no idea. This was me thinking out loud, yeah.
Yeah, like... Honestly, I need to do that, but it's tough because I'm not like a round two that just sells tees. I sell everything, like women's camis and blouses and dresses, like, so I can't just buy like a pallet of like men's jackets, men's grade A jackets, and I mean I could, but it wouldn't be the smartest thing to do.
Yeah, I feel you. Can we just real quick run it back and dissect the idea of vintage? Because again, like I feel like I'm a greenhorn in this. And can you just like maybe define like the style, like what vintage is? Is it past a certain year? Is it anything used? Like, you know what I mean? Like, can I get a clear definition here? Queen of vintage world. Well, I feel like I need a good little...
What I go by is... Well, if you go on Google and you type in like what defines vintage, it's going to tell you anything 20 years or older.
20.
Yeah.
Wow.
But some people that have been in the game longer, like some old heads might say 30 years. Okay. I go by 20. That's what I go by. So like if you want to be technical, we would say anything from 2001 and prior is vintage. But here's the thing. Tees from 2007 are selling for hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
So
I see.
It's
a loose definition.
So nuanced.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
But so it's literally any garment that's old. And then also
Yeah.
for you specifically, I know you're talking about the Brats or like Britney Spears or like, you know, those sort of vibes and maybe, you know.
Very Y2K vibes.
Yeah, that genre.
Yeah.
So that is also maybe something you concentrate on.
Yeah.
And like to curate for.
Yeah. I love 90s, 2000s era. So that's the majority of what my shop has. Like I that's like my specialty. I love that. But we also have older pieces. Like we have some stuff from the 50s and 60s.
Holy
way
moly.
less of that stuff. But we do have some of it. But it's crazy. Like the further back you go in time, the higher the value. So like these Victorian corsets from like the 1800s, they go for like thousands.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
The 1800s?
Yeah, like the 1880s.
You were like, I have stuff from the 50s and then the 1800s. That's crazy.
And those are like
yeah.
The people who do that type of vintage, like, oh, they're next level. Like that's like they know their shit.
That's like some movie set design
exactly,
type
like
props.
movie costume.
Yeah.
Like there's collectors I know that just collect movie costumes. Like I just saw this guy's page. He bought like one of Shirley Temple's costumes. Well, I guess that's not that old, but still,
that's
like there's
old.
collectors like that just know their shit.
Yeah.
And I don't know anything about that. So I have so much to learn. Like I barely know anything.
Well,
I've only been in the game like a few years. Like
you know what you know.
I know what I know. Yeah.
It's my favorite saying.
I like it. It's a good saying.
I don't know what I don't know.
True.
But yeah, that's so interesting. So, and do people know you kind of for that Y2K sort of thing? And that's
think
like
so.
maybe that's also a very larger interest that a lot of people love, that like 2000 style
They
or like
love it.
1997 type.
Yeah. Because like Paris Hilton right now is so hot. Britney just got
Yeah.
freed. So like
Freed.
just it's so relevant in pop culture right now. All the icons from like that era are so relevant right now. I feel like all the kids just are like so enthralled by Paris, Britney, who else? Lindsay.
Yeah.
All them.
The Olsen twins.
Oh my god, the Olsen twins. I just rewatched New York Minute the other night. Have you guys seen it?
I think I have. I have 3 sisters and they all love that.
Yeah.
But I remembered like the Olsen twins, like I really think about that, like that era. Like
yeah.
I don't know, but
they're icons.
They are.
And they started The Row, which is
what's
do
that?
you know?
No.
Oh, it's a really great like high fashion label. They
really?
focus a lot on like cuts, like the silhouette and like simple cuts, but like the perfect tee was like why they wanted to start the brand. So they made the perfect tee. They wanted to make the perfect tee.
That's cool.
Yeah, and they did that, but their price points are very high. Like they sell to like very high clientele.
It's very high end.
Yeah.
Upper echelon. I love it. I think it's so interesting. Again, I'm so removed from that world of fashion and all that, but I think it's very interesting and it's so like, I mean, I always just try to pull it back to like my world of painting or whatever and like fine arts, and they're obviously very different, but you could pull the strings of like similar, but it's like, you know, it's retail at the end of the day, kind of, you know, it's like you're selling these products, but the creative aspect of curating it, building the style, like in fashion in general, you know, like people's fits, like that's their style, or that's, you know, Fritz's style, or this is, you know, Emma's style. Like that's all very personal in like a super awesome way. But yeah, it's awesome. That was a little rant. I have a question about Rogue. That's your actual last name, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so you have, the store is called Rogue.
Yeah.
And you curate the vintage, but is it also a brand? Like, are you also making your own clothes? And could you talk about that? And if they're the same and or separate?
Yes.
Please.
So we just started actually screen printing our own designs.
Gang.
So eventually goal is to have our own like cut and sew line. That's going to happen in the future, but you have to start somewhere. So we just started with screen printing because I have a good friend of mine, Sam. He has a really great brand called Hellcat. He screen prints, so he kind of took me under his wing, taught me how to do it, and I'm very grateful. So we just started screen printing our first designs. They're very like Y2K inspired designs that we just printed on baby tees and some long sleeves. Like some say shut up.
We saw a video.
Yeah.
Hellcat.
Yeah.
They did a pop-up some weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, cool stuff.
Yeah, that was a great weekend.
Screen printing's so fun.
Yeah. Oh my god, my apartment's like a mini
Oh, is it?
Screen printing studio. It's a mess. I just had to put Drano down the tub because my
it's
shower
thick.
was clogged.
Do you use the oil, like, or what kind of?
Screen printing ink.
Yeah, but
yeah, I think
it's like really thick.
It's water based.
Okay.
But it is very thick.
Yeah, and it clogged your schnuzz up.
Yeah.
My gosh.
But it's okay. I got Drano.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing Drano
My employee
can't
bought
fix.
me Drano for my birthday. He gave it to me for my birthday gift because I kept forgetting to get it. So
Nice.
I put it. But yeah, so we started printing those, and they're doing well. I think I'm gonna keep doing it because it's fun, just like designing a little like design and putting it on a tee.
Totally.
And it's easy. It's easier right now to just focus on that instead of doing like a whole like pattern thing and like doing tech packs and then
or a whole
finding a manufacturer.
collection.
Yeah, like I don't think I'm ready for that yet. I don't have enough manpower for that yet. I don't have a design team for that. Like
I think you could totally do it, but yeah, you
we
probably aren't
can
ready.
totally do it.
I
but I
like
think
that you're waiting for the right time.
I'm waiting for the right time.
You're building up to that.
Right.
But so it's like, you think of, or I'm trying to think of Rogue, like it is a brand, right?
Yeah.
It's not just the name of the store.
Yeah, no, it's not just the name of the store. You know what I like to I don't want to compare it to this,
No,
but
I love analogies.
okay, so are you guys familiar with Kith?
Medium, yeah, actually.
Yeah,
do know
so I really like how Ronnie like. I mean, I don't know too much about it. All I know is that I want to be where he is. Like Rogue is eventually going to be like that, but like the Rogue version of what Kith is.
Mm.
So how I see Rogue going in the future, it's kind of going to be like 1/3 vintage. We're going to keep that always because that's our trademark. 1/3 Rogue the collection. And then 1/3 all my like friends like brands and all their shit. Which is like what Kith kind of is right now.
Is it?
Like,
I didn't know that was Kith.
Yeah, so Kith has like, and Kith treats, but we're gonna do snow cones.
Ooh,
I don't know what that is.
It's like they have ice cream and froyo.
Oh,
and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, they have
What the
they have
hell?
a snow, they have like an ice cream shop inside their store. So that's where I
Crossing
envision.
borders here. There's no such thing as anything anymore. Everything is everything.
Yeah, but also we're a venue too. So like our bottom floor, like this is like down the road.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have like a transfer. Okay, I don't want to. Maybe I shouldn't talk too much about that.
That's fine. You don't have to talk about
Okay.
anything, but you're blowing my mind. That's amazing. I love
Yeah.
the vision. So you clearly have a plan.
I have a plan. It does need to get written on paper because
Of
my mom
course.
yells at me about that.
Yeah.
And then
You don't take notes?
No. I have. I mean, they're all in here, all my ideas. But like, I need to do a business plan because
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I got my mom's like, Emma, you have to do that. And I'm like, okay, I'll do that.
That's so exciting, though.
Yeah. So I'm going home to Jersey to like work on that with her this weekend.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's so awesome and exciting.
But yeah, and also like we're gonna go global too. But I don't want to talk too much about that because maybe
Whoa.
we're revealing too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The millions and millions of people who listen to this podcast.
Exclusive.
No.
We'll blast it.
Couple
We'll
hundred.
put some ads behind it.
Couple hundred. Yeah, of course we will.
There you go.
No, I think
Wait, do you post these on TikTok?
we do clips on Instagram. We're
Oh
gonna
my
do
God,
clips on
you should
TikTok.
do clips on TikTok like how they do with Barstool and like Josh.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
We have to.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're building them up.
It's
Okay.
a
We're
lot
gonna
of
start- we're gonna-
it's a lot. Back end of social media, it's a lot. I mean, Chris is the one editing it, but yeah,
Oh damn.
We're
the
gonna
post-
we're gonna get to it.
the
soon.
posting schedule. Yeah, but we're still small, so we're trying to
Yes.
build it up.
Same posting schedule. Ugh.
Yeah.
We don't even have one of
Oh.
those. It's so bad.
Well, you're killing it. Your shit is awesome, and you have your friends, and it's like as easy as showing like a new haul or whatever. I love it. It's like I feel like TikTok is really aligned with what you do. You know, it kind of works very efficiently and kind of perfectly for you.
It does. But the one thing is like it's hard balancing it.
Of course.
Because you know how hard it is to create content. It just takes so much time and there's thought behind it.
Of course.
It takes a
yeah.
long time to like come up with a concept, film it, edit.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of work.
But I think no, I
and
completely
then, but
agree.
on top of that, I have to like I have to source all this shit.
Of course, I mean you're wearing many hats. I can see it, and that's why I love it. Again, the hustle, respect,
Yeah, it's a hustle.
respect. I love it. But like, I think your business like pairs so well with just simple documenting of what Rogue's up to, what you're up to. Like
Yeah.
it's of course you're making creative TikToks that do well, and there's like the whole plotting out some idea, but people just want to know you now. They just want to see, like that's what
Yeah.
a lot of social media is. Not that you're a lifestyle brand, but you yourself, like I'm sure there's thousands of people that just want to literally have a window into what you're doing day to day.
Yeah.
And it's as easy as that to maintain and grow yourself, which is crazy. Like
Yeah.
for me, not that I'm complaining at all or comparing ourselves, but like,
Yeah.
I have to like do a painting, but it takes hours and hours to make a piece of content. Yeah. And so it's really hard to do the algorithm that TikTok wants, which is what, like 300 TikToks every hour. Like it's fucking terrible. So
my God.
it's not as efficient and optimized for what I kind of do.
Yeah.
Which is sad. Tear. Just kidding. I'm not complaining. But
no, it's
I think it's awesome for you, and it's clearly working, right?
Yeah.
Hell
I just got to keep it up.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Do you have your employees help you film and make TikToks?
Yeah, so I have one girl who's also been with me from the beginning, Jenny. Shout out Jenny.
Shout out Jenny.
Shout out everyone. Haley, Jenny, Rasmus, Avery, Alexa. Trent. And Sierra, Enzo, and Tyler.
Is that a dog's name?
Who?
I know so many dogs named Enzo.
No. Enzo's one of my interns.
Okay, well, shout
Enzo
out
kills
Enzo.
it.
Shout out Enzo, but I'm just saying, I've met like 3+ dogs named Enzo. So that's why I said it.
But no, Jenny's great. Thank God I found her. She's a great editor, and
awesome.
we started doing interviews with people who come to our events, like for our Rogue TikTok, and they're doing pretty well. So we just like do like ask like fashion questions, do fit check videos.
Oh, I love that. See, like, that's so awesome.
It's fun.
Smart.
And we just ask like fashion related questions. So like, I don't know.
I love that.
It's cute.
It's perfect. Or like people are shopping. What are you shopping for? What are you interested in? Like,
yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. God damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like scrolling back through Instagram, and you kind of mentioned it before. You used to like be a photographer and stuff.
Yeah.
How did that like play into everything? Obviously, it helped you kind of like build everything. But can you like talk about that in your photo background?
So I guess I started off. Okay, so I graduated. Oh my God, I don't want to go back that far.
You graduated from NYU.
I graduated from NYU. I graduated a year early, right? So then I had this gap year kind of, and my parents were very nice and let me do kind of whatever I wanted. So I took classes at FIT this year, and then I also was doing a lot of film photography. So I was doing like a lot of BTS stuff. I loved shooting backstage at concerts. So I would try and get backstage like at SOBs or I can't, like, what are all these venues? I forget.
Mm-hmm.
Webster Hall, whatever. But I love shooting rappers. It was just so fun. I don't know. So like I got backstage and like got to shoot like oh my God, Smoke Perf and like who else?
I saw YK Osiris.
Bloody Osiris. Oh, I found him on the street. Yeah, Bloody Dior, really? Bloody Osiris. Yeah. 6ix9ine. Shot him at the club.
This was like you had connections, or you're literally
I was just finessing. I was just finessing.
Good God.
Yeah, it was so fun. Oh gosh, wait, what's his?
So you're a finesser. That says a lot.
That was and yeah, but I was going to these places alone.
I know, but that's savage.
It was just so fun. But like I was trying to meet people, right? So I was doing that, and that was film photography, and I was having so much fun. And then I was also trying to do more like editorial stuff. Mm-hmm. So that's when I got a DSLR. And then I started bringing my DSLR to concerts and stuff. Which was cool. But okay, so now I had a DSLR, right? So I guess playing into the clothing aspect, like when I started Depop, I was like, oh, instead of shooting on my phone, let me just shoot on this really nice camera that is going to make my clothes look really good. Mm-hmm. So I was one of there was a lot of people on the app, but not that many people. It was it wasn't very saturated in 2018, at least in the US. So I was one of the first people, I think, that shot on a really nice camera. Like my photos, they're really nice.
I want to look at them. Yeah, I need to see what Depop looks like now.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how like my photography played into like my Depop. But also, I've always loved photography and like also filming. I had a YouTube channel back in high school.
Hell yeah.
That's privated now. We don't.
What was it? Just like vlogs? Gems, I bet. Never delete them. Keep them unlisted.
No. They're unlisted.
Yeah.
I'm never deleting them because if I kept up with it,
you'd be a mogul. You already are.
You know what? I definitely would be somewhere. I don't know. If I kept up with it, maybe I would be somewhere else.
I believe that
right
you would
now.
For sure.
But I wanted to be like, do you remember Ed Bassmaster? Yeah. Do you remember Jack Vale?
I know
like
Jack Vale.
All those. Yeah. Do you remember the Janoskians? All the comedy people. They would do pranks. Ed Bassmaster. So like me and my brother, I mean, I feel like I kind of forced him because I always like grab along for everything I do. And shout out Noah. He's amazing and I love him and he puts up with me. But
is he older or younger?
No, he's younger.
Nice.
But like, he puts up with me. I think I just, whatever. But I wanted to have like this crazy, like we would do pranks in Walmart.
That's hilarious. In like Jersey.
in New Jersey, we would like walk around and like make stupid noises and like capture people's reactions. Or like we would put stuff in people's cart.
You would hide in the behind the toilet paper and stuff. That was
oh yeah. Well, okay. I don't think we did that one, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. We would do like all that silly stuff, and then I did gymnastics growing up. So like one thing I did was handstanding in public. So we would go down so I would walk like.
Bring that back.
No. that was our video that got the most views. Yeah. I think it got like. Oh my god! It made me got like 30K
tapping into
views.
What your potential could be. Handstands.
That's how you show off the fits.
Yeah,
true.
Upside down.
Seriously, that's so funny. So you're super independent, making content.
That was
always
like in
the
school.
Game. Yeah,
that was in high school. Yeah, and then I kind of stopped that because school. School was a lot in high school. I had to do a lot of homework, and it was just like a lot of work. Yeah, I should have kept it up, but it was okay. Whatever.
But it came through in a different way. TikTok and interests. Yeah. That's so cool. And I feel like I hear that a lot about people in your position who either are like small business owners or start their own thing or like start their own brands. You know, they have that history of kind of doing things in their younger age, dicking around, but like you still have to go through, make the video, edit the video, post the video. Like that includes execution, you know, even if it's on this small, fun scale.
Yeah.
Not to always bring things back to like the business side of things, but yeah, I think that's awesome.
It's true.
I have a question about, sustainability, because do you talk about that a lot? Because again, I'm not the expert, but I assume that shopping vintage is like recycling almost. And so you're not producing new materials, you're reusing them. So is that something you like want to push, or it's a big thing for you? Is that even true? Is there still like, you know, unsustainability within everything in fashion, no matter what, sadly?
Yeah, I think with vintage, at least in my case, like it's an inherent part of like my business, right? So everything that's vintage is already pre-loved, pre-owned. So we're not producing any new waste. We're giving old clothes that would have otherwise been thrown into landfills a new life, where the people who buy them are giving them a new home. So I feel like, I mean, I don't talk about it that much, but it's like it's inherently like,
it's almost obvious.
It's like vintage and sustainability are like correlated already.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, 100%. I mean, it's the definition of reusing something.
Yeah.
But I just didn't know if there was like more to maybe that I didn't know or that you had questions on, like, because it's pretty great.
Yeah, no, it's great.
And you always hear, again, I'm not the fashion guy, but like the big companies and like the fast fashion.
Yeah,
and it sounds treacherous.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we're definitely like we don't condone the practices of fast fashion companies and all the Sheins and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, that's another reason why I love vintage, because we're not contributing any more harm. I don't know how to say it. Any more waste
100%.
To the earth.
You're really not producing anything. You're repurposing.
Right. And then, but like with the new clothes that I'm making, I guess those are new clothes, but the thing is like we're hand screen printing them. So
there's also certainly ways to be sustainable with making clothes. I mean, you're not making tens of thousands of t-shirts.
Exactly.
And even I know you still can. Like my friend has a really successful like luxury knitwear business, and it's all handmade in Peru, and he makes lots of product, but it's very sustainable, like almost as sustainable as you can. I'm sure there's still waste, just like making anything, but you could still still be sustainable.
Exactly. So like when we get to that point, like when we do need to be producing our own collections, hopefully like we could keep it within the US. Like that's what I would love to do. I'd love to keep it within the US.
That'd be epic.
In LA, yeah. Keep it here. Like I want to bring manufacturing back to the US.
Dude, fuck yeah.
I mean, it is here, but it's like it's very expensive to get things produced.
Yeah.
But I feel like keeping it here would be the ultimate goal. Yeah.
That's amazing.
And just
Were you always into fashion? Because you're talking about this YouTube video and
photography.
photography. Like
no.
when did so how did this? How long have we been going, Chris?
50 minutes.
All right, so maybe we could slightly. I mean, we have enough time, but I'm curious because like what NYU, you weren't fashion, were you?
I studied media, culture, and communications.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you do that.
Yeah, I wasn't really into fashion until my last year at NYU. It's so funny. I dressed so badly in high school. Oh my God. I didn't care what I wore.
We have a couple pictures of you. No, I'm kidding.
Let's not bring those up.
Yeah.
We tried. You deleted them all, so we couldn't get them.
Yeah, we did a deep dive to try to get it all.
Your first pictures, I was like, these aren't her first pictures.
Yeah, no, it was bad. But then
looking back, it's always bad.
Yeah. But I guess, so when I got to NYU, like my first few years, I was friends with like, I don't know, kids who didn't really care about fashion. But then my final year, I took a few studio art classes like in that school. I forget what the name of the studio art, whatever. But I met like way more fashion forward kids there who were into it. And then that's when I started learning about like vintage and like t-shirts and like single stitch and like all that stuff. So then when I went thrifting, I started looking out for those pieces and I was like, oh, like it's not just like a random thrifted Zara shirt. It's like, it actually holds more value. It's 20 years old, whatever. So my senior year of NYU is really when I got into it. And then when I was doing photography, like that last year and I was taking random FIT classes, like intro to sewing and like fashion business, whatever. I was around people that were into fashion, so I was learning a lot more then, like even about streetwear and like Supreme and like being around like hypebeast kids. Like I was learning all that stuff. So that's when I started learning about fashion, and that's when I got into it.
That's awesome.
So like I would say within the past like 6 years. Yeah.
Yeah. And like a lot of people, I feel like, especially New York City, sort of a melting pot of people very into fashion.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe I'll slowly get converted, but
yes, we have to.
No. I love my old clothes. I actually have like my favorite pants have the hole in this pocket, so I have to go to like a seamstress to get it because like no way I'm throwing those out.
Oh yeah, don't do that
ever. But yeah, it's so interesting. It's so exciting. I'm literally so excited to go to the store.
Oh, you're gonna love it.
Yeah, I'm very. And maybe we'll talk about this off podcast, but you're not there always, so we'll have to find a time maybe when you're there.
Yeah.
So we can just snap a couple pics and.
Perfect. Yeah.
In and out. The world is crazy. We're in. You ever sit back and you're like, well, what the fuck is going on? You know, like TikTok.
All the time.
All this shit. It's like, what is
all
going
the time.
on?
But then, you know what? None of it is real. Nothing matters.
Yeah, nothing matters. I mean, life is meaningless. I'm just kidding. But no.
It's either meaningless.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Like nothing? Like the internet doesn't matter?
Just like.
But that's why it's so epic, because your store is real.
It's like
the social media isn't, but you're.
That too, I feel like,
businesses.
And I still need to work on this myself, but just like not limiting yourself. Like, don't worry about what other people think. Don't be afraid to post this or do that or try this, you know? Because at the end of the day, we're all gonna die.
Dude.
You know what I mean?
Chris? I literally,
like it doesn't matter.
My number one motto.
And when it comes to anything in life, work,
no one cares.
Your love life,
no one cares.
Well, family is like, I always love family, but you know what I mean. Like,
right. Keep the family in there.
It's just.
No one cares. That's my main thing. It's like what's gotten me to, like, I was kind of very timid when I started social media, and like, I didn't even show my family or my friends when I posted videos. Yeah. Like showing my face, like vlogging, being a goober. I was very self-conscious. But then like, I started leaning into it and just like remembering no one actually cares. You know, no one's going to look at this video and like judge me for eternity. They're going to look at 100 different videos or scroll through Instagram. Like no one actually cares. And I try to tell people that to remove them from that hesitation, because it's like so many people can do awesome things. And it's such an accessible, amazing thing to get into any niche you want. So just like, remember, no one cares. It doesn't really matter. But, you know, there could be a little of each. I don't know. I don't know if I could like do the TikTok dances and then look back, you know, 10 years later.
Yeah, no. I can't.
Oh shit.
Those I cannot do.
Yeah.
I can't do those. But yeah, like even I still have to remind myself of that, because sometimes I'm like trying to get the perfect like fit pick, and like I'm judging it way too hard. But I'm like, people are spending 0.5 seconds looking at it and then scrolling up.
Exactly.
So I'm like, why am I putting myself through that distress for no unnecessary
You're
distress.
So right. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. It kills me. Yeah. And like, especially with your fit pics or anything, no one's ever going to see it how you do, you know?
Exactly.
Like whatever you post is people are probably going to either gawk over or they're going to hate it because of no reason. You know, it's like, it's literally a binary one or the other.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're artists and like it's perfectionism, but it's amazing the difference in perspective that, you know, the consumer has versus like whatever goes in through, you know, Emma's mind.
But you see, that's the other thing, like being perfect, like that's just never going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So like what I've kind of learned is action is more important than thought.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
totally
recently I've
producing something rather than thinking about something,
right? Because you can think about it for ages and ages, but until you actually do something, like no one's gonna see it, you're not gonna get any results. So might as well just do it. That's why I was so okay with just starting with screen printing, because I was like, it's not gonna be perfect, but it's like gonna be something.
And also, even in this day and age, and maybe even fashion, like the perfect, people don't want the perfect. People want like the blemishes or the blah blah blah.
Or like
I don't
the
know.
raw.
Yeah, I'm getting to the nitty gritty. You give me very British vibes. Do you have any like United Kingdom
British
ancestry? Yeah.
Really?
I don't know why. I had to say it.
Really?
I don't know why.
Wait, what about me is British?
If I never knew you or heard your voice and just saw you and your face, I would think you're from like London or something.
No, I don't have any British.
And don't take that like as an offense
I'm
or
not.
a compliment. It's just straight up shooting.
I love Harry
here.
Potter.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I don't know why. I'm sorry. Just look at your face for some reason.
That's so funny. No, my mom's from Argentina.
Oh.
She didn't teach me Spanish, sadly.
Okay. That is kind of sad.
Yeah, very sad. And my dad's from he's from Chicago, but his family's from Sweden.
Okay, so you got some stuff going on.
Yeah.
But not the UK.
Not the UK.
Sorry, I just had to say that, but that's awesome. Well, this was wonderful. I think we're going to end, but hopefully we have overlaid. We're talking about the future of like maybe some photos of the Rogue store and maybe some B-roll. We're really excited, but this was wonderful. Thanks for coming.
Oh.
And talking.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited. This is my first podcast ever.
Hell
and
yeah.
I think it went pretty well.
It was great.
Yeah.
Chris.
It was great.
It was
great.
Good?
Yeah. It was good?
Yes. I mean, all like what is great or bad? It's just literally you're killing it. You're hustling. You're doing cool stuff.
Yeah.
Tell us about it. That's literally what this show is.
Yeah.
It's just like picking the minds. Why'd you do it? You know? And so we went through everything. I mean, I checked all the boxes here of this just master list. Anyways, follow her on TikTok. That's where everything is. And if you're in New York, what's the address? It's
53A Stanton Street.
Yeah, in the mix.
Yeah. Just type in Rogue on Google Maps. We'll come up.
But that's epic.
In the Lower East Side. Emma Rogue on Instagram and TikTok.
Hell yeah. Okay. Thanks, everyone. Peace.